This, this has absolutely nothing to do with the coronavirus epidemic. This is about shame. I have done some very shameful things in my life. And by that, I mean things that were hurtful to others, that cut them to the quick, and then I pressed down and hurt them even more. And what troubles me the most about this is that I did not have to be pushed hard to do this. I did not have to go way down to a dark place inside myself. It was me who quite voluntarily and even cheerfully did these terrible things. It's hard to believe, but there it is. Of course, I now regret it, and I don't forgive myself. That's important. That's maybe the only good, positive thing that can come out of my wicked, reprehensible behavior. And that is that I remember and I do not forgive myself or excuse myself. Every time I start feeling upbeat or good about myself, full of myself, this is an excellent, shall I say, corrective or balance. That reminder does help me to attain a certain balance. I think a great deal about balance. I do that because I know it's incredibly important, yet not always readily apparent. Balance is a wonderful thing. Athletes at the top of their form, like dancers, physically embody balance. The law tries to balance justice and mercy. Architecture is about balance. And if you study nature, it's all about balance. And the human personality is another study in balance. Often, frequently, I'm sorry to say, people become unbalanced. They lose their center. This is not a good thing at all. And many of them, in this condition, fall or crash. They flail about. They hurt other people. If you lose your sense of balance, it's hard to regain it. You can't do it by force or on purpose. You have to let it happen. And that is a very difficult thing to do. When it comes to balance, trust is a huge factor. Trust is risky. It's even tough to trust yourself, especially when you have evidence of bad behavior in the past, when you know, alas, that you're a repeat offender. So on this you do the best you can. You trust and verify, yes, even for yourself. Edward Albee wrote a play called A Delicate Balance, meaning it is easily lost. The balance within is between your better, more charitable self and a thoughtless, careless demon who might be capable of anything. Why you verify to keep that bird in check? Because he enjoys his work. He tramples and then leaves. Behind him, a double misery. His poor victim and me, the agent of harm. Yes, back to harm. I have wondered if we should scrap the 10 Commandments and the Scriptures, those sacred texts, and simply declare to one and all, first, do no harm. Try living up to that standard. But harm is done, and I've done it. I remember. It makes me slower to assign blame to others. Also, I have to work on self-respect. That can be tricky. Why did I do the nasty, mean things I did? Amazingly, to me, I don't know why. Realization had nothing to do with, no, retaliation had nothing to do with it, nor jealousy. The obvious answer is simply that I wanted to. I remember laughing about it at the time. There's a proper devil for you. It saddens me that I have to admit to this. Disappointing yourself sucks. Self-respect hangs in the balance. But I do not want to bury it or pretend that it did not happen. Like the girl who had the baby and tried to hide it away. Like her brother who heard her vomiting regularly and turned his headphones up. I can't do that. It would amplify the wrong. I could say, nobody's perfect. We're not angels. But it's painful to recall each dismal performance, to think of the people I hurt. I can see why alcoholics make a point of going out and contacting the ones who have seen them in their misery and degradation. I don't think it's to make amends or to beg forgiveness. It's more to acknowledge that it did happen and they were the cause of it. There may be something redemptive in that, however slight. It's said that confession is good for the soul, an attempt at shriving, somehow separating yourself from the sin. I don't know. A person naturally wants to think well of themselves, that self-respect. But you cannot, it is not healthy, live in an illusion. You have to own up to what you've done. I made mistakes, grievous fucking errors. I'm saddled with those memories. I feel so bad about it that perhaps I'll have the strength not to do anything weak and horrible like that again. Though I know I might. Verify. Balance, not perfection. Balance is achievable. Perfection is an ideal, maybe something you shoot for, but not to be. Self-respect is a balancing act.